So in today's video, I am going to be breaking down Klay Thompson's defense. This is one of the most highly requested videos over the past few months. So here it is. Let's get down. Let's check out Klay Thompson and how he is able to be such a great defender. Okay, so in this first clip, there is really not much time left on the clock. This is going to be a one-on-one situation, and of course, Klay Thompson knows that. When he starts getting into this play, what do we see? Well, we see a quick crossover, hesitation, and then that player attacks the basket. He then goes in for a 2-foot jump stop, and then he's going to go up for a shot. As Klay Thompson knows, and as we should all know as defenders, as soon as that player comes down on 2 feet, that means that that player could still take one more step in either direction, and then he can create a foul call on you. He can step into you when you're going up to block his shot. You need to be totally straight up, and that's what we see here. The mistake that this player made was to not take an extra step around Klay Thompson. Of course, he wanted to go straight up for his shot, but Klay Thompson's smart anyway. So what we see here is Klay Thompson making contact with that ball and then staying straight up without going to go for that block. You never want to try and block a 3-point shooter. Stay straight up, own your ground. That way, if he does make contact, it's not going to be a foul on you. Here, Klay Thompson was able to get that block, and when he did jump, he jumped straight up in the air. Remember, you are allowed to be in your cylinder. That is his space. Same as that shooter, he is only allowed to shoot in his cylinder. As soon as he goes into your cylinder, technically it could be an offensive foul, and that's actually how they're going to start calling it this year. Here's another set of absolutely amazing post defense by Klay Thompson. We see a quick shot fake, trying to go for the up and under, trying to make that contact, and Klay Thompson never fell for it. Why jump to block a shot if you don't have to? You can just play really strong defense. So this is what I mean. So after we see this quick shoulder fake and that turn for that up and under, he's hoping for Klay Thompson to go up and block that shot. But in my opinion, if this player is stepping back to do a fadeaway shot, why do I need to block it? I've already done my job. He is not balanced. That means that he has a low percentage of actually making that shot. So why not stay on the ground, which is what Klay Thompson was able to do, so that when that player does go up for a shot, you can jump straight up. Do not go over top of his body to try to block it. Go straight up, block that shot, and guess what? There's nothing happening. Here we see Klay Thompson in this next clip over here, and I really love his defense here. He's able to hedge out, keeps his hands up, trying to block that shot, or at least cover that shot, but having his hands up will also at least contest the pass to the rolling player. And that's what we see here, and that actually made contact with the ball to block it, and he was going straight up. Look at that, straight up. Don't try to block somebody by trying to reach through them. Just go straight up. At least contest the shot. You don't need to block it. So here we have a pin down screen on Klay Thompson. He has to try and keep up and stay with his man. And that's what he does here. And now he's able to move his feet along without crossing them with that defender, so that the defender has to pull up for a baseline jumper, in which case Klay Thompson jumps straight up to contest the shot, and then he's able to make contact with that ball, and he's able to block it. He didn't go for the block, he went for the contest and ended up blocking the shot. Remember that whole theory of don't block shots, just go up and contest? That's what we see here. He's on the help side now. We have a player who's driving towards the basket. He jumps straight up merely to contest, and then as soon as he sees the opportunity to block that shot, he goes for it. You make contact with the ball first, that's when you go for the block. This one's really good too. So again, going up to contest, going straight up. You're not reaching over top of the player, but he's able to make contact with that ball, so he blocks it. If you're not going to go up and just block the shot, you want to go up and contest, and then if you obviously get ball, that's when you go and block it. And remember, you're owner of your own ground. If you go jump straight up, you're not going to be getting that foul call, and that's what we see here. So now he is on a super fast player who is about to drive towards the rim. When this player drives towards the rim, there's a quick hesitation first, but Klay Thompson's able to stick with him and not cross his feet. However, when that player starts to get past him, Klay Thompson has to turn his hips and stay with the player, which then means that he is crossing his feet. However, he's not crossing in the sense of having them so that he could trip himself. What he's doing here is he's turning his hips and he's keeping his shoulders with that player. By turning your hips, you're not crossing your feet. What you're doing is you're running with your feet side by side and able to stay with that player. Obviously here he's able to get that block. But what I mean by crossing feet is if you're still having your hips and your shoulders face your defender and that foot gets on this side of the other foot, guess what? You've crossed your feet. But if you tilt your hips towards the direction as to where that player is going and keep your shoulders towards your defender, you're going to be in a much faster situation to turn and stop than you would be if that foot crossed this foot with your hips facing your defender. You never want to cross your feet. This is another great situation. Here he's getting a nice wide base, and that's what you really want to see, is a nice wide base when somebody bigger and stronger is trying to post you up. You want to hold your ground. You do not want to tilt into that player. What you want to do is to hold your ground, bend your knees as we see here, get your butt down, and now, guess what? You are in a much stabler position where if that player does hit you hard enough, you could fall and take that charge. However, you can also push back slightly, not to injure or make contact, but to hold your ground. Stay really low, stay lower than your defender here in this case, and then when he does make his move, go straight up. Make him make contact with you. As we can see here, that player is trying to make contact, but because Klay Thompson was able to hold his ground staying straight up, that offensive player is unable to make that foul call and then ends up with a blocked shot. I hope that this video helps you become a better defender in basketball. If it does, hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys again next time.